Here we go, season two, the Specificity Podcast. Joining me today, Anthony Thomas Jr., known as King Thomas, a father, director, and Oklahoma City native. Today's topic: the art of film and video production. So we usually started out with, one thing positive, one thing negative to keep that balance. So
Mhm.
talk to the people, man. How are things? Give me one thing negative. Start with the negativity first.
So negative. Just the shape of the world where the mind is.
Mm.
Where say people want everything to be in one box category, and it's just not. The world is not supposed to work that way. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be right and wrong, good and bad. Everything is not good. Everything can be meant for your good, or good can come out of something, but everything not supposed to be just good. You know what I'm saying? Something's supposed to be, what I'm saying, what it's supposed to be negative, supposed to be seen as negative. You know what I'm saying? So that's the negative part about what's going on, that people aren't holding the negativity to what it is and what it's supposed to be, the definition of it.
On the flip side, for that balance, give us something uplifting, something positive.
Dude, God is good. God's grace and mercy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's real. You know what I'm saying? He's keeping all of us. You know what I'm saying? He really not discriminating. Like, he reigns on everybody. You know what I'm saying? So the fact we got God and He sent His Son for us, giving us all a chance. You know what I'm saying? And showing us what true love is. You know what I'm saying? That's the goodness of it,
Mm.
and the fact that He allowed me to just be here. You know what I'm saying? Even be
Yeah,
on this podcast. You know what I'm saying? Allowed me to be a father to
yeah.
three beautiful daughters. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? That's the good. You know what I'm saying? God just blessing.
The people say, where can we find you? We want to follow you. We want to keep up with your work. They say, King Thomas, where can we find your work?
I'm on Instagram at kt3.productions. My YouTube channel is kt3 productions, and that's the Roman numeral 3 on YouTube. And then I have a kt3 productions page on Facebook also. And then I have an email. I can be emailed at King Thomas KT3 at gmail.com.
All right, there we go. They said, man, where can we know where we can find the work, but what's
Yeah.
the latest work? What's the a project that you would like to inform them about or has you excited?
Well, the most latest thing that I've completed is a dance class. I've done two this past 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday is Find Your Confidence with instructor Patricia Adacora. It's a
Okay.
heels based class, and then and this it starts at 8 o'clock um on Wednesdays in Edmond at All Fitness. I can't remember the whole name, but then on Thursday I was at the Savage classes with Stephanie Pascal, instructor at Dance with Mars off. It was on the south side. I can't remember the street. It's off Western. But you know what I'm saying. So those are the latest projects that I've completed is the dance community.
Yeah.
But what I'm excited for coming up, I'm doing a film for Bleak, CEO of Poetic City, and we, you know what I'm saying, we getting his film together, film that he wrote, produced, and directed. So we like halfway done, and but we'll be finished come 2023. So I'm excited about that one. It's showing his range on this one, and I'm excited
Okay.
for it. Yeah.
So where did the interest start from when it comes to film and videos? What was that moment when you knew this is what interested you?
So I do. Since I was little, I want to say like first grade, kindergarten. Cause I wanted to be a Power Ranger. That's where I started. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be a Power
Yeah.
Ranger. Me and my brother always talked about it. Like, hey, we gonna go try out to be a Power Ranger. I'm gonna be the red one. I said, you gonna be the blue one. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it started. And then watching PBS Kids and just watching TV, watch
Mm.
stuff like that, just seeing all the kids. Cause back then, no, no, my bad. So back then, you know what I'm saying, you had the Zoom TV show, and then you know what I'm saying, there's so many the electric company, you know what I'm saying, there's so many
Mm.
Sesame Street, Barney. You know what I'm saying? You seeing kids on TV and stuff like that, and it was diverse too. You know what I'm saying? You seeing everything, especially on Sesame Street. So for me, I felt like I can be. It started with me wanting to be an actor, I guess. 'Cause I want to be a Power
Mm.
Ranger. But then as I'm watching, growing up, watching movies, coming across Jim Carrey movies, you know what I'm saying? Um, I was just taking an interest in wondering how things were working behind the scenes. So anything I started watching, by the time DVDs start coming out and you can go and choose the special features, I started watching the behind the scenes, the
Mm.
special features, you know what I'm saying, seeing how they made it. So I had an interest on how it was done. And I had an interest on knowing what the director's mindset was when he during shooting. You know what I'm saying? So they had that option. You can watch the movie with the commentary, director's commentary. So I
Mm.
started doing that. So since I was in elementary, I've been wanting to. Um, and then it wasn't until I was getting ready to graduate high school when I was like, hey, I think I'm gonna go and try to go to film, go get in film production,
Yeah.
which was tough. Now I graduated 2011, so it was tough because Oklahoma City or Oklahoma period didn't have no film production programs. They had broadcast communication, you know what
Mm.
I'm saying, majors and stuff like that. So it wasn't exactly what I wanted. But yeah, I've been wanting to do it since I was a kid. I was in church, messing with the camera, uh, filming the church services. The auntie had a camcorder at home, so we filming. You know what I'm saying? We filming at family gatherings, and I'll be one of the ones that operate the camera. And
Yeah.
my mom used to always tell me, "So you got a good eye, son. You got a good eye. Good. You know what I'm saying? You caught a good image. You know what I'm saying? So I always caught the right moments. So yeah, that's where it started since I was a kid, elementary.
So we have the intention, we have the foundation, but what was that first step from taking it to more of like maybe a hobby or pastime to more of a career?
Um,
That next step.
it- about 2016.
Okay, talk to us
I
about it.
yeah, I ended up going. I was playing junior college football at NEO, Northeastern Oklahoma, A&M, and I realized I didn't like it. I realized that
Mm.
I didn't love football like I thought I did. I just
Yeah.
liked it. You know what I'm saying? It was just cool. But I didn't want to do it for the rest of my life. But film is what I wanted to get in, but they didn't have it yet either.
Mm.
But after 2014, you know what I'm saying, after that, after my 2 years was done up there, I'm back home. And then my mama asked me, cause now it's like 2 years went by, and she's like, "What you ever thought about doing that film thing?" I said, "What?" She said, "What is it called?" I like film production. She's like, "Yeah." You ever thought about getting back to that? Or trying to get into it? I said, I don't know. You know, I was kind of frustrated a little bit. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I came back home, started working. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? But and I was driven to work though. I wanted to work. I was on the schedule already because of football, getting up
Yeah.
early and just being hands on. So I wanted to work. Um, but I was just sitting there like I do want to pursue it. 'Cause at this time I'm 20. How old am I? 14, 21, 23. I think I'm about like 23 when I went ahead and enrolled in the film school, and I ended up going to recording radio recording film connection in Los Angeles,
Yeah.
California. Yeah, it's a film school out there, and it was perfect because I didn't want to just go to film school and have to learn other curriculums that had nothing to do with film. I didn't want
Yeah.
to learn science and all that stuff, math, calculus, or whatever. I wanted to just learn film, and it was just a perfect opportunity to just learn film and just focus on film. And it wasn't a classroom setting either. You will learn by being hands on. They set you up with two mentors. They give you a screenwriting mentor and they give you a production mentor. And my production mentor, I got to stay at home also, so they let you be remote. And that was a
Mm.
beautiful thing. But that's why they able to do the no classroom needed, because they gonna set you up with a mentor wherever you are. So I end up getting partnered with in Oklahoma City, Mike Cornett of Cornett Productions. And his father is Mick Cornett, the former mayor of Oklahoma City. Um, but he ended up showing me and teaching me, guiding me and being my mentor for me. Helped me a whole lot, a whole lot. I can still call him to this day. You know what I'm saying? So he made a big impact on me. But that's when I started wanting to take it serious. To like, all right, I want to do it. I want to make this career. Because while I was in the middle of school, and while I was doing school, I had to write a script, a full feature film script with my screenwriting mentor. He resides in L.A. His name is Ryan Hepe of Hepe Productions, and he was a big help for screenwriting. That was my first time ever writing a script, and he he definitely gave me amazing pointers. But I was doing well enough because he didn't have too much critique. You know what I'm saying, with my writing skills. He tell me how strong it was, but that process and stuff, it helped me like, oh yeah, this is what I want to do. You know, I love screenwriting. I love my imagination always it runs wild. You know what I'm saying? So they just they just juiced me up a little more. You know what I'm saying? They confirmed a lot of things
Yeah.
for me that I've always thought over the years. I'm like, man, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? So my intent was to just to be a director and a screenwriter. You know what I'm saying? So videography wasn't even a thought.
You said you love it and that it gives you this feeling. I want you to, take that 7-year old, take that 15-year old who is leaning toward it, but they need a more vivid picture painted. How do you feel when you look at a work that you created or when you're in that environment, in that zone?
Man, it's like I'm in cruise control. It's
Mm,
like my creative juices just start flowing. I don't know if you into anime, but I like Dragon Ball Z, and they had their most recent series, Dragon Ball Super. Goku goes into this Ultra Instinct form to where he don't think, he's just all instinct. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
There's no thought. It's just flowing, just boom boom. So that's how it gets. You know what I'm saying? It's like once I'm just flowing, things just move, things operate. I'm on it, you know what I'm saying? But once I start thinking and being in my mind, oh, that's how I start messing myself up, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean it's flowing, it's just flowing and being creative, you know what I'm saying? It's the creative part. It's just exciting and then wondering, can I do it? And then once I do, it's like, okay, it's looking like it. It ain't there yet. Let me, you know what I'm saying, touch up on it some more, fine tune it. But yeah, that's what it is. It's just I I be in cruise control.
How can you differentiate or tell the difference if you start to lean toward too much thinking and not really just being in that zone to where you can create how you need to?
Stay, I guess I don't want to call it like a hiccup during, you know what I'm saying, production and stuff, but stuff like just the atmosphere just don't be settled.
Mm,
I put it that way. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm trying too hard to make a moment, trying to force a moment, or I'm
yeah.
not, or I'm not communicating properly with cast members, crew members, or something of getting my point across, or my vocabulary could be off. Like, man, I'm just not saying the right words to describe to
Mm.
you what I'm needing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's how I know things ain't flowing like it need to because the atmosphere ain't settled, or you know what I'm saying, I'm thinking too hard. You know what I'm saying? So and sometimes it ain't got to do with me being prepared. Sometimes it's just an off day. Sometimes you know what I'm saying, which happens. So
Mm.
that'd be the times where it's like, okay, you got to dig deep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Figure out a way to
Yeah.
make it happen.
I, I would paint the picture that I've come with my experiences. I like to feel like I'm in water because
Mm,
then it's just like you said, I can kind of let go a little bit and let something beyond me as I just do what I'm naturally gifted to do. But if I feel like I'm going against the tide or in sand, that's when it tells me I need to reassess, take a deep breath, and maybe I didn't prepare as well, or maybe I did, and I'm just like you said, not communicating thoroughly.
yeah,
Or maybe I need to kind of take a step back, you know, go with their idea, do both of our ideas, but maybe incorporate some of the shots they see too. That way, they in the event they catch something that I miss. So that's what
mm,
I'm learning too is that team, a team is one of the greatest things you can have. I
yeah,
love having a team.
yeah.
Films, videos. I know you love to do it. The people can hear it. We can tell, but why are they significant? What's the importance of them?
Man, it's telling a story. Uh, I think a lot, that's the important thing when you filming and you getting content, it's to actually tell a story. It's not about, because it all go hand in hand, the picture, the visuals, the storytelling part, all of it, it all ties in together, but the main thing is the story. Getting across to the audience the emotion you had intended for them to feel. Taking them on this journey. Getting a hold of, their attention, and then do with their attention as you please. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like, that'll be it. Yeah.
Give people the disclaimer when it comes to producing, editing, directing, the grudge work, the fun work, the glorifying work. What's
Yeah.
the disclaimer that they might not know until they get in it?
Time. All of
Yeah.
it is time. You know what I'm saying? Pre-production,
Yeah.
production, post-production. And not even just filmmakers, photographers. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. People want something from you and got these visions, but we need the time to do so. But then with time, you need budgets. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, yep.
So and people want the next blockbuster, number one blockbuster for $25. And it's like, you know,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Because
Ah.
I can't, that's below minimum wage trying to get them, on this.
Mm,
But yeah, that's the it's time, So much time goes in pre-production, to get everything together, the preparation to, okay, what is our goal? What is our blueprint? What is our vision? What are we trying to tell? What story are we trying to tell? And then production, now you got all hands on deck, like you said, team. So you got a whole team, and everybody that's on set need each other. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? So you can be as strong as your, weakest link. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure your weakest link is, flowing as well. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that time, cause production, even with during production, so pre-production can be, a long duration of preparation. Then you get to production. You may need 8 days in a day. You may need, 8 days and 2 days, in both days, or a week, whatever it is. But it's time, But then if the budget is low, trying to get, and if people doing it out of love, you gotta be mindful of their time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it always come back around time. So even if they is doing it for love, you don't want to abuse the
Yeah.
time they giving. You know what I'm saying? So that's vital. And then when it comes to post production, that's where the magic is happening. That's where everything's getting cleaned up. Your sound, your picture, the cuts, edits, voiceovers. If you got to reshoot something, there's so much that goes into it. And if people want something done on Monday and back to them on Tuesday, but it's like, well, I got 5 other projects that I'm doing the
Yeah.
same for.
Yeah.
So I give you this X amount of time, you know what I'm saying? But like we could come back around it with time. So if you want it back faster, it'd be a high price
Yeah.
and get it, outsourced and get back to you faster. You know what I'm saying? But if not, you're going to be on the waiting list. You know what I'm saying? And you try to give them a designated time, like, hey, I got this, get back to you within about 2 to 4 weeks, maybe, you know what I'm saying? And they can have their product. But yeah, it's time, and then you can
Ooh.
start talking about budgets. But it's time. Yeah.
Yeah. So time, budget, having a vision, like you said, a blueprint, where you want them to feel, think, the images you want them to see, how you want them to see it.
Yeah.
Let's give a brief synopsis. Let's say drop of a hat, we want to come up with a project. We're talking to that 7-year-old, that 15-year-old, that 30-year-old that says, man, I know I love what to do, but I just have no idea what goes into each one of these steps. Let's give, 2 or 3 bullet points that they can then take and do their own research on, like a brief synopsis of what goes into it. I believe you said pre-production, like budget and time. So let's
Mhm.
give 2 or 3 bullet points for each step. That way, at least they have their own set of checkpoints, and then from there they can do their own independent research, like a starting point for
Yeah. Yeah. So say in pre-production, say you finna do a film and you know what I'm saying, you could either have a script already ready or you could
them.
be building one from scratch. And if you build one from scratch, you gotta get your story together. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? A lot of people think going into screenwriting is writing out the script first. And that's cool if you're seasoned.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But not too many can just jump like, let me write the script. So for me, when I started learning the fundamentals, it was step by step by step. So I just take it one portion at a time. So
mhm,
you can, you know what I'm saying? So I start with trying to get my actual story together. And if I can get my beginning, middle, and end, if I can tell you the beginning, middle, and end of my story within 5 sentences, you know what I'm saying? That's a start. Now I know what my catalyst is. I know what my midpoint is. You know what I'm saying? I know what my opening is. You know, my theme is. I can
yeah,
figure all that out within, you know what I'm saying, about a few sentences. You should be able
yeah.
to. And then
Clear
once you
cut
get,
vision.
yeah, and then you start outlining your story. You know what I'm saying? What your setup is going to be. You know what I'm saying? Your character development. You know what I'm saying? So you start getting details before you even, so you know what your story, what the form of your story should be. And now it's like, all right, let's start adding details. Who is this character? You know what I'm saying? What is, you know what I'm saying, of each piece of the story. And then you go from that piece to, all right, let's start adding some more detail to the first bullet points we started. And then once
Mm,
you get to that like treatment page, you already have your story set. You know what I'm saying? Now you go to the script portion, right? And start screenwriting, doing the script portion. Now you just filling in the moments to the
mm.
story. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it was told to me, it's adding flesh to the body. You got your
Yeah,
skeleton, just adding flesh, start adding meat. And once you get to the script, you're really forming the body. Uh, and you know what I'm saying? A lot of people skip those steps. And that's how, and for me, because you know what I'm saying? We've all watched movies, good movies, bad movies. And the bootleg bad movies that I've seen, you know what I'm saying, growing up, the storyline would be horrible. You know
mm,
what I'm saying? It wasn't, I couldn't even, can't even blame the actors at some point. Sometimes the storyline be horrible. But once I got and learned the details and guidelines to it of screenwriting, I'm like, oh, they just had a poor storyline. You know
mm.
what I'm saying? So I see the potential of the script, but they just left us in the dark. Like, okay, you know what I'm saying? At certain moments, they just so you can tell they excited to show this certain moment, but it's like the moment not supposed to be the story. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mhm.
like if you actually get your story and everything fleshed out before you get to your actual script writing, you know what I'm saying? Your script will unfold differently. So yeah, and pre-production is the screenwriting portion if you're trying to get a film. So make sure you have a good storyline to even start with. You know what I'm saying? Because once you got that storyline, you know what I'm saying, now you got a product. Now it's like, okay, now I gotta get it made. So now you got, okay, I gotta go find the funding. You know what I'm saying? You can do crowdfunding, you can get a sponsor, you can go get a bank loan, you know what I'm saying? Go pitch it to a studio, a major studio. Um, like you know what I'm saying? It's different ways. You come across somebody who's wanting to invest in film, you know what I'm saying? So now it's the next step is getting your story, solid script. Now let's go find the funding for it. You know what I'm saying? And that can be that's just, it can be tricky, but sometimes it's just having that go getter mentality. Like
Yeah,
I'm going to get this money for it. I'm finna go find somebody. I'm finna talk to somebody. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You never know who got money. You can never really tell who got money on them. You know what I'm saying? Just by where they look. So you got to be kind to everybody. Because you never know. You start talking to a millionaire and not knowing they ready to invest in something. You're like, man, I got the perfect story for you. So yeah,
Mhm.
get solid storyline, script, and then next point, just finding the knowing what your budget is first. You know what I'm saying? Know how big you want your project.
Mm.
Um, you know what I'm saying? I know I have a script right now. It's what I wrote it in film school, and I don't want to get it made until I get 3 million. So
Okay.
a lot of people I've told that to, they're like, dang, why so much? Like you can do it with less. It's like, nah. What I need
Yeah.
done, all hands on deck. But it's not just like, oh, I got a camera. Like, no, I'm gonna get the specific camera. I'm gonna get a specific cinematographer, a specific director of photography. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get a specific producer. And then with that, that's, you know what I'm saying, getting my above the line crew. So that's my, you know what I'm saying, the producers, all that. And then the below the line, which is even more important. Now I gotta get your gaffers, your grips, you know what I'm saying? I gotta get the MUAs, production
What are those
assistant,
things? What for those who don't know? What does that mean?
so gaffer, oh, gaffers and grips. It's funny, I be mixing these things up. I be saying them, I sometimes be mixing them up. But gaffers, I believe lighting. You know what I'm saying? Your lighting crew, and grips being those, you know what I'm saying, when it come to chords, you make sure the chords and stuff is organized and stuff like that. Cause it'd be a lot of chords on the ground on the set if you really got that type of production. Even in small
Mhm.
productions, you got lines like mic lines to the audio, whatever. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff be going on. So you have your lighting department. You know what I'm saying? You got your makeup department, production assistant. You know what I'm saying? It's like your errand person. You know what I'm saying? They run errands for you and just there to assist any way they can. A lot of people start out that way too on major sets and make them work their way up. So the below the line is like everybody that's making the film work. You know what I'm saying? The camera operators. You know what I'm saying? You got your um, people overseeing this and that. You know what I'm saying? So many departments, but you need those. You need the above the line people, which your director, producer. You know what I'm saying? Top. You know what I'm saying? Your main actor. You know what I'm saying? Then you got your below the line, and those are everybody that's making everything roll. So yeah, so I mean, getting, like I said, budgets, song script, and then just executing. You know what I'm saying? Um, I was taught that the 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 director is the heart of the film, and the producer is the brain of the film. So if you gotta have that in your on your project, you gotta have the heart for it because if you're passionate about it, that passion can be shown through, you know what I'm saying, the art of storytelling. You know what I'm saying? Then you need that brains around to make sure everything's in order and everything executing to your vision as a director. You know what I'm saying? So it's that so now you got your executing, you know what I'm saying, just getting everything done properly the way you see fit.
Let's sum it up. So I'm gonna chime in the smidge because you've covered just about everything. Um, During the initial steps, what's your purpose? There's three major types of communication: celebratory, persuasive, and informative. And you can have all three or one. What's the major overarching purpose? What type of representation do you want? What do you want them to come away with, to experience, to learn? What emotions do you want them? It's really manipulative. In a sense, it's just what you do with it. You can use it to aid and educate or to entertain. I mean, it's not really no right or wrong.
Right,
Um, the budget, getting a specific team, communicating in advance, being as organized as possible, and knowing you gonna miss some things. And that's why you need other eyes and ears around you too to kind of catch those things that might seep. Be prepared to spend some money if it's important to you.
right,
If you want a penny pinch, that's okay. That's understandable.
right,
Something's gonna suffer. It
right,
might be a relationship. It might be the quality of work. It might be the technology you need. It might be the editing time. Like you said, the turnaround that you want. You
right,
might be put on hold for 2 months. because you weren't able to pay the amount needed to
Mm-hmm.
your work to be prioritized. I mean, that's just the nature of the business.
Right.
Um, put the bones in it, like you said, the outline. Add on to, okay, do I want some music in there? Do I want some poetry? Do what type of shots do I want to see? Making sure you get the licenses for everything, because you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to come at the end of it and all of a sudden, oops.
Right.
Because now you got to either do it right or suffer some type of copyright infringement, and that's not it.
Right.
Prevention.
Right.
Have people like King Thomas around you who have went through the educational route of really knowing what all goes into it. Like me, I'm just self-taught research experience. By
Yeah.
having somebody like him who really went through and had that mentor, and even if you want him to mentor, to you have his information, reach out to him, ask him questions. I mean, that's the key of it all.
Right.
Um, the time management, the budget, the relationships, the professionalism, the organization, um, having an ego while understanding that you need to have no ego, because at the end of the day, it has to get done. And you need
Right.
your team just as much as your team needs you.
Right.
The biggest obstacle regarding production, that number one thing that keeps surfing itself, what would you say that one thing is?
Man, what would that thing be? I want. I would say expectations. It's probably expectations of certain individuals, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Because they can pay for something, but still expect more. You know what I'm saying? So say it's a job, a 1K $1,000 job. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm gonna allow for this. You know what I'm saying? This, let's say wet for weddings, for example. Say a wedding is you doing a wedding for $1,000. You know what I'm saying? You can do um doing a $1,000 wedding, you know what I'm saying? So that wedding only you only get like a highlight of the whole day. You know what I'm saying? So say that's like, I don't know, 8 hours, probably 6 to 8 hours of, you know what I'm saying, being there, which is time. You know what I'm saying? It's just trying to articulate it the best way I can. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's just like, so like I say, you like I said, you they agree on the 1K, you just get highlights, right? Now they get it, and now, hey, I really want,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Can I get the foods? Like, you know, it was discussed earlier, you know what I'm saying, during pre-production, pretty much as far as consultations and getting everything together. And just for examples though, because it goes for everything, you know what I'm saying? But it's just one of those things, you know what I'm saying? People go, it's the expectations like, I want this. Like, okay, well, what's your budget? And that's nothing. I think people are afraid to tell you what their budget is. I see it on
Yeah.
Facebook. I see a lot of people get bashed, and
Yeah.
I'm the filmmaker videographer who's not going to bash another videographer's prices or anything like that. But it get brought to me about somebody else's price and stuff, and it don't be bad. You know what I'm saying? And I be having their back, and this be people I don't even know or ain't never met. And we may follow each other, but we ain't never met. I'm like, no, that's actually he shortchanging himself because the prices range about $1,000 more to what he just charged you. You know what I'm saying? So um, people's expectations and not, but they not educated though. They just don't be educated on what it takes, and then so it takes all of us as a collective to try to drop knowledge to them. So being informative, you know what I'm saying, to show them the etiquette and you know what I'm saying what to truly expect, and why it's should be expected for what they're asking for. So like I say it's a wedding. Oh, we want the full service, you know what I'm saying, shot, which would be like a full length option. So it's like, okay, well, to do full length, I'm gonna need a second shooter. You know what I'm saying? So the price is gonna jump up. You know what I'm saying? But they will want those, say it's a basic package, plus package, premium package. they'll want that plus package for the basic package price, but the basic package price only allows for one. Have you know what I'm saying, you solo shooting something. And it's like, well, we doing anything, you know what I'm saying, shooting some full length, like a full ceremony, service, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? For at least for me, where I'm automatically getting a second shooter because now it's gonna help for cleaner shots. You know what I'm saying? We can get shots that, you know what I'm saying, you like that's the whole point, having a clean, crisp shot. You know what I'm saying? No shakiness. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? If one person moving, you got one stationary.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just their expectation, but they just don't be knowing. You know what I'm saying? But
Give us some numbers. Let's say so that one people who are in the market to hire somebody like yourself knows what the market value, what's reasonable, what's a little too low, and what's a little too high. And then on the reverse side, those who are, you know, in a position to be hired, what they should be charging. And if they want to do less, they can. More they do can. But what's the market price? So let's say I come and I have 500. Let's do $500. We'll do $100, 500, 2,000, and with the type of things that can buy and the expectation that comes with spending that amount of money for a project.
right. So you doing like 500, that could be like a starting price. So in typically you can get like a half day. That's like a half day rate for many. And what you know,
3 hours, 5 hours. What's a half day mean?
that half day probably like about 2 to 5 hours. You know what I'm saying? But that's like just start. That's just starting a rate. Cause then you still got to add your editing costs or whatever additional fees or prices that goes on top of that project. So that's just to either gonna use that to have you there or to have you know what I'm saying, getting other people to close that off their schedule. Like, hey, here's a portion of this, block this off your schedule, and then you come work, and then, but the rest of the finances be added on to it depending on what they're wanting. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing. But everybody's different though, because some people may try to include their editing within the same price. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a wrong way. It's just depending on where you at in your career and what you feel is fit for you. You know what I'm saying? But in Oklahoma, the market is lower than other areas like Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? But the pie is there's still a big pie out there. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta branch out. You know what I'm saying? You gotta network. Cause it's enough room for everybody to eat. There's clientele, but you know what I'm saying? I think people get too caught up in trying to get, you know what I'm saying, go to the same barrel, you know what I'm saying, to get clients,
Mm,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And they make the next person feel guilty for wanting to utilize you. So yeah, like 500, yeah, it's like a day rate or like a half day rate. You know what I'm saying? Starting out. And then what was the other one? You said 500, then what?
We went 100, 500, and then like a 2,000, 3,000 type range,
Yeah,
and then more of the steeper ones.
2,000, 3,000. Now you're talking about some like industry cameras. So like you 500s, you know what I'm saying? But it's like you trying to get a videographer, and then yeah, 500, like you'll be a half day rate, you know what I'm saying? And depending on what you want. So if everything end up getting to like a rack or so, you know what I'm saying, depending on what the camera they is. 'Cause I know a lot of people when they in a 2, 3K budgets, they're using their industry cameras, their cinema cameras. You know what I'm saying? So your Alexas, your Black Magics, you know what I'm saying? The you're saying cameras of that nature. So that'd be a reason too. You know what I'm saying? The camera and lenses. Cause sometimes you gotta rent too. Cause sometimes
Mhm.
you don't have to use what you own. You can go to a camera shop and rent the equipment you need, lights, whatever. So
Yeah.
all, you know what I'm saying? So budgets, and that's another thing too. I think people think if you're getting paid 2,000, 3,000, you're receiving 2, 3,000 just to have in your pocket, but that don't be the case. 'Cause sometimes those budgets is what you're using to location scouting. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
then get that. You know what I'm saying? Going out getting permits, going to get, you know what I'm saying, crew. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the technical stuff that the budget's really used for. So even if you're doing a $2,000 job, you low key may only be bringing home $800 of it. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how you paying yourself. You know what I'm saying? But nowadays a lot of people got their own equipment. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes it does take to go rent a certain camera, a certain lens. Or if you go get a certain camera, you got to get the lens. You know what I'm saying? So, and which the lens be the most important thing. So, um, yeah. So I mean, you the three Gs. You know what I'm saying? The camera could be a big reason why it's up there, and then it could be more time you're getting. You know what I'm saying? For the days, for those few days. Um, 'Cause usually you'll want like a multi-day. You know what I'm saying? If you shooting that, you know what I'm saying? Unless you got the whole day
Yeah.
blocked up. Like, all right, we finna shoot for 10 hours. But even with
Yeah.
that, you want to accommodate. Say you got extras, you want to accommodate your extras. Like, hey,
Yeah.
like then, 'cause with that, you're not gonna have no trailers for nobody with no $2,000-3,000 budget. But you know what I'm saying. But you want to have, you want to do something, feed them something. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Absolutely.
sometimes extras don't get paid depending on how small the project is. You know what I'm saying? They probably won't get paid. Maybe they just getting fed or just getting put in place to be able to network if possible. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause you never know what performance you just did or somebody like the way you operated and the way you was around setting. Like, hey, give me your contact information. I wonder, you know what I'm saying? I might have something for you in the future. Like what you got going.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So it's so many opportunities though. But yeah, just being able to yeah, it's like I said, now it's time again. You know what I'm saying? Time keeps coming up.
Time
You
and
know,
money.
yeah. So that's what the
Time and
budget,
money.
time and money, and because people's time is valuable time. Some people got
Right.
family, so they can either be at
Right.
home, um, making priceless memories with their
Mm.
children, but instead you got them on set for they probably spend more money burning gas getting there than what you willing to pay. You know what I'm
And
saying? So people gotta be mindful of that. You know what I'm saying? Because people got lives out here, and some people really trying to take it seriously and
yeah.
they on and people love the craft so much they gonna do what they can, you know what I'm saying, to really maximize what's going on. Like sometimes they forget that it was a certain budget and they just trying to like, hey man, I got this idea. Let's do this. You know what I'm saying? So creatives do that. But
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, the budget it all differs though.
Y- I
And
would say be prepared to spend because, as you said, a multi-day is gonna cost because it's multi-day gas. A full
mhm,
day, well, now you it's strenuous because it's one all at once. So you need to, like you said, accommodate. Something has to give, and if you really want a quality product and to have people that want to work with you again, because it's all about relationships long term, you're gonna have to pay.
yeah,
Don't shortchange any other area except your time and your finances.
yeah,
Because if you, in my opinion, through my experience, if you shortchange anywhere else, it's going to be noticeable.
you're right.
Shortchange your pocket, shortchange your time, and prioritize. In my experience, prioritize everybody else's, but you suffer the losses because in the end, if their idea originated from you, you're gaining the most because now you manifested something. And so
Mhm,
I like what you're saying, and I hope people are paying attention. If not, that's okay too. It'll reach who it's meant to reach,
yeah,
and we'll just educate people that much more. You talked about the tech, the lighting, the sound, they said it's so many options out here. What do I need to prioritize? I have a set budget. I can get more, but for right now, this is what I have. What do I need to prioritize?
you def and sometimes you ain't got the budget to get lights. That don't mean you can't get creative. You
Come
know,
on.
it's all about 'cause when you doing set design, you know what I'm saying, lighting the set, you know what I'm saying, you're shaping the light. So you gotta understand what mood you're trying to get. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you gotta work with what you gotta work with. And that's another thing too. When it comes to tech and equipment, some people to put too much on it to the point to where you almost you can almost make somebody feel like they shouldn't be creative or have no imagination for what they have to work with. You know what I'm saying? So say somebody only has a cell phone. You know what I'm saying? I can only imagine if cell phones was out when I was a kid, on how many projects I would have had. Steven Spielberg made a horror film. I think he was 12 years old. He made a horror film in his house with the camera his father, I believe his father had. You know what I'm saying? Or got him. He made a little horror film. He was like 12. So I can only imagine if I had, because the camera we had around was my auntie's, but of course, my auntie's, it's her camera, so it's with her. So when I'm at home, I'm just trying to build stuff. You know what I'm saying? I was low-key set designer when I was in elementary. I can only imagine if I had at least a cell phone camera and the stuff I could have came up with. My brother was my right-hand man. You know what I'm saying? He my right-hand man. We're a year apart. He's younger than me by a year. And anything I did, he was with me. So I wouldn't want to discourage nobody when it comes to equipment. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's about where's your imagination and how strong your creativity and how, you know what I'm saying, how much are you willing to be creative? And that could, with filmmaking, that's the beautiful thing about it, especially if something is low budget, is seeing what so much creativity is. Cause like, dang, I like the way you know what I'm saying? Like you see what somebody, how somebody finesse something. Cause now you got to manipulate the set. You know what I'm saying? And to see what somebody's creativity was to make the shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I bet a lot of people like Quentin Tarantino, one of his go-to styles is the extreme zoom. You know what I'm saying? He's zooming in on somebody's face, you know what I'm saying, rapidly. You know what I'm saying? That's one of his techniques. JJ Abrams, he's a lens flare type of guy. You gonna see lens flare in his films, heavy lens flare. Let's say like Michael Bay, you know what I'm saying? You gonna see explosions. You know what I'm saying? Like people got that unique, you know what I'm saying, niches, you know what I'm saying, their styles. You know what I'm saying? But that's their creativity. Their creativity is that's what they see with their imagination. They love it.
What's yours? Me and you brainstorming. What's your kind of like your texture?
Man, I remember in film school they asked what type of director we think we'll be. I'm like, I don't know.
Mm.
But I mean, what is my style? Mine is really mine is just simple storytelling. You know what I'm saying? I don't have I like lens flare too, but I think I like more of color pop. I think color pop is what I like.
Talk to the people. What is color pop?
Just you know what I'm saying, just some vibrant, you know what I'm saying, vibrant colors. I like
Mm.
vibrant when I'm trying to shoot stuff. But a lot of stuff I shoot don't cause for that type of
Mm.
style. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it has to be
Yeah.
something gloomy. It gotta be something dark. So ain't nothing
Mm.
vibrant about darkness. You know what I'm saying? So uh yeah, but it's simple storytelling. Like just being able to like I'm not a special effects guy, so I would have to go get Michael Bay to direct something for me if I want explosions. You know what I'm saying? Cause that's not my style. I can do, you know what I'm saying? I can write it, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I would rather have him something like that, like, hey, you know what I'm saying, I got this story, you know what I'm saying, dress it up, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, mine is just simple storytelling cause I like I like I just like those simple stories where it's just clean cut
Mm.
scenes and you seeing
Yeah.
that working and you just the story's unfolding. But I like getting the attention. And then you have to get the attention quick. You have to get the audience
Yeah.
attention. So getting their attention quick and then holding it and then taking them on a roller coaster. You know,
Yeah.
that's me.
What would I say mine is, man? If I had to, I love fades, man. The simple fade,
Yeah.
not too crazy transitions. I love a fade within a fade to where you can have like two
Yeah.
a story on top of each other, but you can make out each one and kind of use a flashback foreshadowing type. A
Yeah.
flashback is when you look back in time at a previous memory, foreshadowing references or talks about something that's going to happen. And then real heavy character development. If I
Yeah.
just had to,
Yeah.
I would say those.
Yeah. The
Um,
character.
yeah.
Yeah. That's the main thing too, character development. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? People pay attention to any film you watching it, they're setting up characters in the beginning. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? They narrating you know what I'm saying, who they are, or you just watching as everything's flowing. But
Yeah.
it's showing you who that character is. You know what I'm saying, at the very beginning. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay attention, and then that'll help take them or take you the rest of the film.
See,
Yeah,
I'm weird, man. I like to watch how people dress, how they walk, their body language, their temperance, and how they raise their voice and lower it, how they deal with conflict. I like that kind of stuff. I'm real a stickler in particular for that. So I
who's
love like go ahead.
who's an, who's an actor you've been paying attention to? You know what I'm saying? That
Um,
is a must see for you, or you did.
actors, I wouldn't say any in particular. I
Mm-hmm,
would say like director types. Like I saw that Black Panther film today, the
mm-hmm,
newer one, and it was real heavy character development. I don't think a lot of people like it because it's not what they were looking for. But
mm-hmm,
this one is a lot of details, storytelling, creating things that we can flash back to,
mm-hmm.
alluding to things in the future, uh, how the character deals with emotion and copes with stress and loss and trauma, and then how that propels them for the future when it comes to future conflict. And I enjoyed it. I really got to sit down in one spot and really pay attention and watch these characters grow into where they're gonna be in the next film or next films, plural.
Right.
And so I'm weird, man. I like
No,
to rewatch things, and
yeah,
that's my thing, my niche.
I'm with you. I ain't watched it yet, but I'm with you. Yeah,
I think you'll enjoy it. It's nice and slow. Nice
yeah.
long. So that's the disclaimer to people. It's long. I'm not gonna give any information, but it's long. But if you like that real particular kind of intentional characterization, that building of a character and character development, you'll enjoy it.
Did Brian Coogler
Oh,
Brian Coogler direct this one?
he did.
Okay, okay.
What advice? Give people some advice now. So now they have the information, how to start, the middle, the end. We talked about technology that essentially, and I heard this quote. I think it's from anime that somebody holding a rock can be stronger or more of a threat than somebody holding a kunai. It just depends how you use it.
Right,
And so, depending on how you use what you have in the relationships that you build and making sure you prioritize and respect other people's time, energy, and passion. You know, take that for granted.
right.
Um, what's some ways they can stay disciplined within the field? I have what I want. I know what I want. I'm building my budget. How can I stay disciplined to make sure that the end goal, the end product reflects the beginning product?
Practice. You got to practice
Mm.
discipline. The only way to do it is important. You have to practice discipline. You don't have to be for that field, just for small details. You know what I'm saying? Start trying to get yourself up in the morning at a certain time. Or, you know what I'm saying? Start cooking more. You know what I'm saying? Just small details of discipline. You know what I'm saying? That'll help strengthen your discipline in other areas. So when you get to film, you know what I'm saying? You can be more disciplined on what you're trying to do. Have a vision for what you're trying to do. Um, don't think your idea is stupid. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't see it don't mean you can't see it. So obviously you see it. You know what I'm saying? I might be able to help you clean up what you're trying to do because you probably don't know how to articulate it, but at the end of the day, you seeing something. You know what I'm saying? You visualize something. You know what I'm saying? And that could be what the world loves. You know what I'm saying? It's just taking you to get it out there. You know what I'm saying? But as long as you discipline, you know what I'm saying? Just like I said, practice the discipline. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause that's the only way you're gonna strengthen it. You know what I'm saying? And it can help you get motivated and stay and be disciplined in studying, researching. You know what I'm saying? You have your style, but watch those who've done it already. So go and look at the golden era films. You know what I'm saying? Of the 1920s, 30s. You know what I'm saying? Go watch those old time films. Go watch the black exploitation films of the 70s. You know what I'm saying? Like watch what they did because they didn't have special effects, so they had no choice but to storytell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying they had no choice but to really act for what they to the best of their abilities at that. You know what I'm saying? The era. You know what I'm saying? Lighting was a certain thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they just need to go and yeah, discipline, man, and just like I said, just keep you know what I'm saying, just keep researching and watching. You know what I'm saying? Be honest with yourself with what you're doing. Um, Everybody wanted to be the best thing since sliced bread. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want the next best movie. You know what I'm saying? Which can be discouraging because you can and it not happen, and then all of a sudden you either say somebody hating or something. It's like just go back to the drawing board. You know what I'm saying? Reanalyze where your discipline is, where your vision is. You know what I'm saying? Go research some more, go study some more, be a student of the game. Um, and we in 2022, so it's so many interviews, so many podcasts of those who've done it already or who's currently doing it in the space that we want to do it in, who's dropping gems. You know what I'm saying? So listen what they got to say because they've been through it already. So now all you have to do, you know what I'm saying, is adopt what they're telling you, apply it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Put your unique spin on it and go push your vision, your creativity, use your imagination. You know what I'm saying? Because God blesses all with an imagination. And those who's fortunate to form their imagination into the art of film, you know what I'm saying? You need that discipline. You know what I'm saying? To stay the course.
And I think that's one of the more powerful things we could do too. Representation, storytelling. People like to read, the masses don't. And so, what's the way that you can get that same story out to a mass amount of people? And so, it's really a powerful and incredibly noble profession, in my opinion, because
Mhm.
you're training the subconscious, whether people realize it or not.
Yeah.
And you have the power to affect the way somebody thinks and how they think about things. This is where we get political in the show. We get a little bit more political than the candid conversation. So every guest I ask if they think it's possible for us to be more organized, meaning the African American Black community. So some of the bullet points we have is talking and working with the church because they have an immense effect on influence on the community. Rather, we talked
Right.
about voting and making sure we vote for policies and procedures that leaders in the community advocate for and recommend we vote for. We talk about long-term community work and being invested in the community to where, like for instance, the Save Our Youth. She talked about how she's been doing it for so many years that the kids that were in it are now adults who are running it too.
Hmm.
We talked about having the work done first and then having the words follow it. So it's actions first, then words. We talked about representation. We talk about examples. We talk about changing the culture. We talked about, like for instance, I made a song called STEM, Science, Technology, Engineering, Mathematics, in little tidbits like that, to where we have to rework the subconscious on what is entertaining and what's really progressing us, and not just us, but the next generation, like our grandkids, because you're a father like I am, and
Right.
we understand what it takes when it comes to influence and education.
Right.
So, given your experience, given the way you live your life and the way you work, what's some things that we can do for the listeners out there, and for me too, because I'm learning as I go.
Yeah.
What's some things we can do to get more organized, more progressive, and use our economic power more to gear it and funnel it back toward us?
First, as individuals, we must hold ourselves accountable first. You know what I'm saying? Because we get it's people too offended nowadays. People offended because somebody don't like your stance on something, right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? And then when it comes to it, people don't have um they can't even tell you they can't even describe their stance to you. They can't even break it down. They can't even show you their source, you know what I'm saying, where they're getting this information from. They can't tell you the facts. You know what I'm saying? They just have an opinion, but they're talking to you as if it's facts. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's cool, but tie it into something like, you know what I'm saying, like, show me where you're getting this information from. So, because people don't, like I said, don't hold themselves accountable. And then it leads to that. So if we can hold ourselves accountable and then don't get offended when someone else, friend or foe, hold you accountable. Because a lot of people don't like the delivery when people do it, but sometimes the message still be true. You know what I'm saying? Some people's delivery be horrific, but the message be what it need to be. You know what I'm saying? So I think if we hold ourselves accountable and then hold each other accountable, and not to get offended because somebody's trying to correct. 'Cause I don't think people don't like being corrected. People too prideful to be corrected. You know what I'm saying? Because we all, like I say, we all don't know everything. Every day you're supposed to be learning something. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't learning each day, something is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, I be learning stuff from my 4-year-old, my 2-year-old, even my 1-year-old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Learn from them, like what? You know what I'm saying? So,
Congratulations too on that.
thank you, man. I got my 2-year-old turn 3 tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Just yeah, we can hold each other accountable, and then stand for something right, stand for something true. Because I don't think people feel like they standing for something. 'Cause, if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything.
Right.
But people think they standing for something, but they're not. You know what I'm saying? They just want to be rebellious with a lot of things. And I know a lot of people do use a lot, try to bring the church into it. I know you mentioned it about the church,
Hmm.
but people want to go to the church when there's trauma in the world. You know what I'm saying? But anything else, people got their mouth on the church, and then any other instances. So it's like you're not even helping the church. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And even for the churches, you know what I'm saying? Um, like I said, it's a walk by faith thing. So because the churches have things they have to learn too.
Yeah.
Um, it's because what I'm saying, the scriptures that what I'm saying they preach and read is deeper. But for somebody that's not in the church but got something to say about the church, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times it's like just you might want to just what I'm saying, keep it to yourself,
Mhm.
because you're not even helping the church. You know what I'm saying? You just want to talk about how someone in the church hurt you and then blame it on God. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
like they try to take God out of everything. And the thing is, God did nothing to us. Like just the way He blessed that sinner to do and gift and get his wealth and riches. You know what I'm saying? He's still blessing that the church. You know what I'm saying? The folks in the church who struggling to make ends meet. You know what I'm saying? They both blessed the same. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? It may not look like it. You know what I'm saying? But that's another thing too. People who not in the church sometimes tap into give God bestowed on everybody better than sometimes in those who's in the church. You know what I'm saying? So that understanding between the two has to be, you know what I'm saying, addressed, but addressed properly. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying, that's where it all starts. You know what I'm saying? Starts for the, you know what I'm saying? Because back, you know what I'm saying, during slavery, you know what I'm saying, and civil rights, that's who they're praying to. You know what I'm saying? They're praying to the Father. You know what I'm saying? They're praying to Jesus, wanting Him, needing Him. You know what I'm saying? So now, years later, fast forward 2022, it's like it's not good enough anymore. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff happened, and I guess people think too, with using God, um, He just supposed to not let nothing bad happen. But it's like it's still life. He
Mm.
still gave everybody the free will to do as they please. You know what I'm saying? So stuff is gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? That's why you gotta stay prayed up. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want nothing negative to happen. But he allowed his son to be crucified. You know what I'm saying? So who's like for the rest of us? You know what I'm saying? Who are we? If Jesus can go be beaten, tortured, crucified, you know what I'm saying, pierced, and then he give up the ghost for us, then who are we? You know what I'm saying? To not go through. Oh man, I got no money this week.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Now everybody's situation is different, so it's just us having to truly come together. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Like, because the world gonna take care of its own. God tells us that in the scriptures. The world gonna take care of its own. You know what I'm saying? But we still on this planet together. So we all still need each other. You know what I'm saying? Those that's in the church and those not in the church. But it's too much just what you ain't doing and what you ain't doing. Like it's more than that. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta treat each other better, hold each other accountable first as a community. Because it's so much like we are the real high entity in a lot of things in the world. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You can sports, music, creativity, any types of arts. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Like we there, we just don't. You know what I'm saying, a lot of people refuse knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So I think we all need to just, you know what I'm saying, be open to really doing research and being open minded, not to just allowing anything. You know what I'm saying? Like I think people blow that out of proportion about being open minded. Like, yeah, be open minded, but I'm not gonna be open minded to you disrespecting. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like you still, that's a negative feature. Like we were talking about like in the beginning. Is this what's negative
Yeah.
should be what it is, negative, and seen as negative, and not like, well, let's just,
Embrace the reality.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, embrace what it is, because once you address and be real with it, you can move on. But if you are lying about something, or you know what I'm saying, or sweeping stuff under the rug, well, we're not supposed to say that. We're not supposed to talk about that. How can you move forward? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like, cause, like, say the man you are today, the man I am today, it took somebody in our upbringing to correct us. You know what I'm saying? Or for us to see something like, man, that I don't feel right about that. You know what I'm saying? And God sends somebody to show you a way, correct you, or He just put it solely to you, like, hey, now you got you looking at something totally different. You know what I'm saying? A certain way to where you like, all right, I wanna let me look into this a little bit more, because I feel different about this topic than what everybody else saying. You know what I'm saying? So like you gotta, I'm saying, not refusing knowledge to really to look deeper in stuff. Cause life is deep. Life is deep, but people really don't want to get deep. You know what I'm saying?
If you were done tomorrow, today it's the last conversation you could ever have for your kids, for the next generation, for the community that loves and supports you and your work. What was your dying words, your wisdom be for them?
You get close to God. You have to get close to God, but in order to get close to God, you gotta accept Jesus. You have to, because you can't get to God but by Jesus. So you gotta have Him, because He's gonna lead you. You know what I'm saying? Because He's speaking to you. You gotta listen. You know what I'm saying? Because without Him, you know what I'm saying? Because man ain't give you my gifts. Man didn't give me my creativity. Man didn't give me my imagination. The why I think the way I think. Man didn't do that. Man can influence me, but they didn't bless me with what I am, who I am. You know what I'm saying? He did. So trying to learn to be connected to him, which takes being knowledgeable, reading. You know what I'm saying? You gotta open up a book. Um, you know what I'm saying? You gotta meditate. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, getting close to God. 'Cause once you get close to God, it's gonna cause you to, you know what I'm saying, to open up in other avenues. And you know what I'm saying, because he'll direct your path. You gotta ask him. You know what I'm saying? You gotta try him first. You gotta try Jesus first. You know what I'm saying? People try everything, but they won't try him. But if there's like, if you try him, I promise you, because I've experienced it, and that's what it is experience. Once you experience it, you'll understand. Like, oh, that's what our grandma was always saying. That's our grandma was always, because a lot of us are still here because of grandma's prayers. You know what I'm saying? Some of us could have would have been checked out, but because her prayers before she didn't, you know what I'm saying, for some of, you know what I'm saying, 'cause well, my mama's mama, she's passed away. You know what I'm saying? I still have my dad's mom, but I know my prayers, her prayers for her grandkids still got us here today. Prayers for my mom still got me here today. Yeah.
What would I tell them? Ooh, this is when I scratch my head and look up.
Hmm.
Um, you have the information. You have a starting point. You have people who have done it and who are getting continuing to get better. You have the examples. Every week we touch on topics to give a foundational knowledge. So you have the foundational knowledge. It just comes down to how much you want it, how much you're willing to do on your own, and how much you truly love where you're gonna be, and
Hmm.
how what are our coping skills like. You know, where are you gonna be in 5 years, in 20 years, and then what are you doing today, right now, to get there? What's the last book you read? What's our eating habits like? Because
Yeah,
I was doing some reading, and a lot of people don't realize that what we eat plays a part in diseases. Yeah, that's true, but
yeah,
also what we stress about, also how we think and what
right.
we watch and the types of things we have in our subconscious based on the type of things that we let inside. So just being intentional, being consistent, listening to great people with great information like our guests, and to continue to getting better and to drawing a line within yourself on what you want for yourself, what you want for your loved ones, and what you don't want for yourself and what you don't want for your loved ones.
Mhm.
And we thank you again for coming.
I
And with that, we thank you for joining us on Specificity.
appreciate you, man.